Okay, welcome guys to the next Blender tutorial. So today we're going to be making some air conditioning. So let's go ahead and press 1 for side view right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and press S to scale up and then just S to scale across. So essentially what we're going to be doing, let's go into edit mode. We're going to be making the air conditioning on this side, kind of the fans and stuff, and then we'll put the controls onto this side. So let's go Control R, split this in half. And then on this side, we're just going to go ahead and just pull this out just ever so slightly. Control R, just scroll on the scroll wheel, just to about there. So essentially what you're going to be wanting to do, let's go with faces. And you're going to want to make a hole right here. So we can start from the center one right here, just kind of select where we'd like this to be. I'm just going to press S to scale these out just ever so slightly. So we've got something like this. We can go and delete these faces. And what we're going to want to do is just, let's go ahead and bring this one up. So let's go G. Just try and make a circle with this. Or at least a circle-esque kind of shape. Okay, so once we've got this, let's go ahead and shade this smooth. Should have something like this. And this is just kind of like a basic design now. So let's go with edit mode again. We're going to go A to select everything, E for extrude, leave it where it is, S for scale, and just bring this inwards. You can have that nice little curve coming inwards as well, that's great. E for extrude again, scale inwards. And what I'm going to do here is let's go for scale upwards just a little bit. And then scale to the side just a little bit as well. So you've got that nice little bevel that's coming through. But then you also have this nice little hole right here. So let's go to object mode. I'm going to go ahead actually and go to add modifier. Let's go smooth. Just try and bring this around just a little bit more. Just to about there, so it's kind of got this nice little beat up worn look as if it's been sat outside for a while. So let's go ahead and let's add a plane. What you want to do, rotate this by 90, press G, bring this forward, and what I'm going to do essentially is just cover this hole with this. So we're just going to go there. Let's press G, bring this forward. You want it just about there, just over the lip. Make sure that the hole is covered fully. And what we're going to do, edit mode. And you want to go subdivide, 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 subdivide. Let's go back to object mode. Add modifier. And we want to go wireframe. Just as such. So now we have this nice little wireframe on the front right here. So you can amend the thickness. If you want a thicker grate, you can have a thicker grate. If you want a less thicker grate, something like that, you can have that. But generally, somewhere just around 0.017. You can have the offset as well. So that just offsets the objects just ever so slightly. So the next thing that I want to do, because these are kind of just stuck in the side, and usually you wouldn't see something like that. So what we're going to do, let's go to add, and we're going to go with circle, and we're just going to clean up what we have here. And as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the smoothness as well with this. Don't worry, we're not just going to leave it like that. So let's go ahead with the circle real quick. Once we've got it, let's press G, rotate this by 90. I'm going to press G again. And we're just going to go ahead and just get it onto the edge right here. So you want to go ahead and scale it. This is going to take a little bit of fiddling right here. So let's go ahead and just try and get this just to the right size, just to cover this hole right here. So maybe just about there, just on the inside. Let's go to edit mode. Let's go F for fill. E for extrude. Just bring this to the middle right here, and then E for extrude again. Scale it outwards. just so you're covering that little bit. E for extrude again. And then we're going to leave it just here. E for extrude. You just want a little bit away from that. Scale outwards. And then we're going to go E for extrude and bring it back. So, now, what we're going to do from this part, let's take this face. Let's go to faces. Let's take this face. Let's delete. And then let's take the face at the back and delete again. So now what we need to do, so let's go ahead and we're going to select the inner faces on this one. So let's go Shift D. Sorry, not Shift D, Shift Control. And just select all of your faces just on the inside right here. Sometimes people will do this differently from the way that I do it, but to be honest with you, as long as it comes to the same result, it's no problem. So let's just go into X-ray mode so we can see this. So now we've got this ring selected, we've got everything inside selected. So all we need to do now, let's go off X-ray mode. You just want to go ahead and just press G and just bring this forward. Just ever so slightly so that it comes out just like this. So it's this nice little cover. I'm going to go ahead, let's go back to object mode. Shade this one smooth. Let's go ahead and just turn down the smoothing factor just here. So we still have that nice little beat up look, but it's nice and smooth. So we should have something like this. So, if you haven't already, change your render engine from Eevee to Cycles. And we should have something like this, roughly, when it's rendered. So, what I'm going to do, let's go ahead, select everything and just bring this up. And what I'm going to do is just add some more light to this scene so you guys can see what's going on. So, let's press G, bring this up. We'll take this light right here, Shift D, move this across, and what I'm going to do, let's turn up the exposure a bit so you guys can see. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is kind of some little details right here. Maybe we could do some vents. Let's do edit mode again. Let's put this on regular. Control R, let's go halfway, and then we'll go halfway, 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 and halfway. So let's do some little details on here. So let's go with this row, hold down Shift whilst you're doing this, and this row. We'll do E for extrude, and then we'll do G, and bring this up. So it's got this nice little texture that looks like air vents as it's bringing the air in and kind of pushing it back out. So this should look something like this. And what we can do, once we've got this right here, we can actually change the materials. So let's go to the materials tab, change this from white, and you can have this air conditioning whichever colour you want. Maybe we'll do a nice little pale colour right here. So let's take the grating as well. Let's go new. Let's change this to black. And then we'll take the outer ring here and we can change this to say like, I don't know, like kind of a grey colour. I don't know what your air conditioning looks like. So I mean, like, you know, it's probably going to be different from what I have over in my country, but you know, we don't really do air conditioning over here. It's not a thing. But we can try. Okay, so now we have to make the turbine on the inside. So what we can do, let's go add cylinder. We'll make it down here. So let's go shade smooth with the cylinder in the middle. Let's go new. I'll change this to black. As a material, let's go add cube, scale this. You can have these as any kind of size that you want. any scale or anything like that. Let's press G, bring this down. And you're going to want to angle this. So let's go ahead, rotate. Maybe we'll do an angle of 20. Actually, no, let's do an angle of 30. That should be okay. So the next thing that we're going to want to do, let's go ahead, shade this smooth. New. And let's change this material to kind of like maybe... I'm going to go with grey. Let's go with grey. Shift D. Bring this across to the opposite side. And then we're going to select both of these once we're happy with their position. You're going to want to try and get it in the middle just there. So let's go ahead, press G to bring it onto that red line right there. And this one should be on the red line as well. Take both of these. Shift D. Alpha rotate. And maybe we could do, I don't know, 90 for this one. Let's go Shift D again. Actually, sorry. Let's select everything again. Let's go Shift D. Leave it where it is. Alpha rotate. And then I believe it's 45. So we've got that nice little turbine going on right there. Let's go G. Bring this across. Alpha rotate on 90. S for scale. I've accidentally picked up a lamp there. Oopsie. Let's press G. Bring this up. And we're just going to go ahead and slide this in just here. You might need to scale this down just ever so slightly as well. Let's press G. Bring this across. You're going to want to sit it just inside. So if you press 1, you'll notice that this is off kilter a little bit. So just try and get this just about in the middle right here. And you can scale this down if you want to, or you can scale this up if you want to. It depends on how big you want the blades. Let's go for the middle right here. S for scale. And essentially, you want to get this just sat just at the back, just behind the grate. As such. So obviously there's a lot more technology inside of a turbine that meets the eye as well. Let's go into Shading tab and give this some texture. A little bit of weathering as well. So let's go ahead and add a... let's see. Let's go with the noise texture. Color to base color. Scale this up a little bit. And what we can do is add a color ramp. Place this in the middle. Bring the black up and the white up. Just there. Let's go ahead and add a bump texture as well. Believe you'd place it here with the height. Just there. Just give it a couple of seconds. It should load in for you. Can I move this around just a little bit? Interesting. Okay, let's put the... let's go Shift D. Put the bump here. Go to height. Just bring these 2 points together a little bit more. Okay, that's not working. So let's get rid of the bump right now. Let's go to color to base color. Have something like this. You've got your bump right here. Hopefully this should work. Seems to be taking its time. But if not, if that doesn't work, you can also take your noise texture. Let's go Shift D. Place your noise texture down here. Let's go color to metallic. And it should have something like this. That works just a little better. I'm just going to go ahead and distort some of that detail just slightly. I'm going to take this white and maybe we'll move this just down a little bit. So this is more like a sci-fi air conditioning kind of thing. I'm going to go ahead and border this actually. Let's go back to layout. Go back to normal. We'll go ahead and add. Let's go cube. G, bring this up. Let's go ahead and scale this out. Just over the top right there. And G, bring it up again, and then we're just going to go S for scale and bring it down like this, and then G, place it on top. Let's go for material of black, excuse me. Shift D, and then we'll place this on the bottom as well, just as such. So when all is said and done, this should be your kind of basic air conditioning. I mean, you can amend a few things to this. I think that blade is a little bit too high, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you could do anything with this you kind of really wanted to. I do think that blade is a little bit too high. Let's just click that off. Just press G, bring this down a little bit. And then bring that grating back up, because we just amended that. Yeah, I think that should be okay. So, I mean, it's not much to look at, but say like a game or something like that, you could probably kind of bash up this as well. So you could go to modifier if you wanted to, and go to smooth. Kind of just play around with this a little bit. It's about there. So yeah, I mean, like for a background piece in a game, it's not too bad. You could go ahead and add some stripes on this, a little bit more detail if you wanted to, like totally up to you. So yeah, I think that'll be the tutorial for today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.